First of all, I want to say right up front to all the haters, this isn't a pity party. It's just reality. Hey everybody, welcome back to Carnivore Quest. Larry here. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Today is June 1st, day 10 of my carnivore diet recommitment. Part 3 or season 3 of the greatest carnivore diet comeback in history, whatever we want to call it, right? Glad you guys stopped by for a few minutes. Feeling good today? Yeah, I'm making this video for one reason. It was a couple months ago, I told you guys that for my birthday, which was in early April, Cassie surprised me with 2 tickets to Metallica in Charlotte, North Carolina on May 31st, which was yesterday. When I had to go to that family member's house to deal with that situation, I had that long drive cross country, and I came back, and you guys know that's when I really messed up again. I told Cassie, I don't think I can go to the concert. You know, I'm just too big. I'm too out of shape. I've been to 9 Metallica concerts in my life, and you know, I mean, it's even if you're not partying, you know, of course I don't drink anymore, I don't smoke marijuana anymore, but you expend a lot of energy, you know, even just getting there. You know, the concert was 75,000 people, but yeah, so she was pretty disappointed that I felt I couldn't go. And so I gifted my ticket to our daughter, Holly, who just popped out our grandbaby, Charlotte, just over 3 months ago. And Holly hasn't done a whole lot since then. You know, she's a stay-at-home mom. And she's a huge Metallica fan. Yeah, so I gave her the ticket. And here's Cassie leaving yesterday to go pick up Holly. And once she left, I got a little bummed out, you know, disappointed in myself. But I know they had a blast. Here's some footage of when they were at the concert, you know, and here's them. Cassie actually sent me this picture right when she took it, and they really did have a good time. It wasn't 100% because I felt I was too fat to go enjoy the concert. That was probably 80% of it. There's 20% of that story I'll share with you guys at the end, and especially if you guys are fellow Christians, you might want to stick around till the end and give you my thoughts on that. But you know, got past it, no big deal. I'm glad they enjoyed the concert. And, you know, they brought me back a t-shirt, which is cool. I told Cassie I just want, you know, the most basic shirt they have. I don't like the ones with all skulls all over them, and, you know. But, yeah, but that night I did good. I stuck to the carnivore diet, you know. I didn't let my mood dictate what I was going to put in my mouth. But I did jump into a video game, and I played for like 4 hours, which I haven't done in years, you know. So that was kind of cool. Just got lost in a video game, and you know, Cassie got home like at 3 in the morning, and home safe, and I was already in bed. But they definitely had a good time. But when I got up the next morning, I asked Cassie, I said, so how would I have been? And she says, it's a good thing you didn't go, because just from where they had to park, the walk to the arena was a challenge for her. And then, you know, they were in the cheap seat, so they took the stairs all the way up. She said, you would have died, you know. You know, when I'm carrying around this much weight, you know, for my 6-foot, you know, frame, I can definitely tell my breathing is more labored. I mean, you guys know. You know what it's like to be heavy. That's why you're at risk for a heart attack, right? That's why we got to get this weight off. But I just want to tell you guys, if you have been, you know, straying on your carnivore diet and you've put on 5-10 pounds, it's time to get back on. You don't want to be in my situation right now to where you gain 60-65 pounds and you can't do what you did before. You know, you start missing out on life. And that's why I'm determined. By the time our son Cody is married at the end of September, I'm going to look a lot different. But anyway, I told you guys we were going to be going to that, and I wanted to let you know what happened and maybe get you guys to think about, you know, where you at in your journey. Like right now, I couldn't go to a amusement park. You know, I'm too big to get on any of the rides, you know, or be comfortable on an airplane right now. So something to think about, right, guys? And I'm sure all of you do anyway. But I just wanted to maybe, you know, tickle your brain and get you thinking about it. But today I woke up, had some electrolyte butter coffee, and I had 2 Denver steaks for lunch. It's about 4 p.m. right now, and I'm going to eat early dinner because I'm hungry. I picked up this shrimp ring from Food Lion. I told you a while back I would not buy any more steaks or any meat from Food Lion, but definitely steaks. But their shrimp rings are really good. Now this cocktail sauce will be going in the garbage. It's full of sugar. But these are normally $16 and they were on sale for $9.99. So I picked up 2 of them. Can't beat that, right? I'm definitely going to enjoy that. I call this a carnivore TV dinner, because you just sit there, watch a little TV, and just, kind of enjoy it like that. I want to get back to doing daily vlogs. I told you guys we have family coming in for little Larry's 21st birthday this week. And I've been working on that garage little by little. A good example of how bad a shape I'm in. I work on that garage 15, 20 minutes. I got to sit down and take a break. And then, start moving again. Where a year ago, I could go 2 hours straight, and not even sit down and catch my breath. So, big difference, right? But yeah, I want to get back to those daily vlogs. I don't know when family's here if I'm going to be able to do it every single day. We'll see. But I appreciate those of you, WED, watching every day. And, I always see all your comments. And I answer most of them still, but I can't get to every single one of them. But definitely read them all, and I appreciate every single one of them. So if you've made it this far in the video, you are a true warrior, and I just wanted to speak to the spiritual side of why I didn't go to Metallica. I haven't been to a Metallica concert since I got sober. The last one I went to, I had 42 beers and I smoked like 4 joints. And I remember I kept track of how many beers I drank. That is an insane amount of alcohol. And that's before I really became a hardcore alcoholic. That's before I had transitioned into hard alcohol. But yeah, that was definitely a party. Cassie and I went with a bunch of friends and, we did it up. And I just, Christians know this, your flesh and your spirit, they battle each other. My flesh loves Metallica, but the spirit that dwells within me, not so much. Like if you were to come into our house and we happen to have music playing, 70% of the time, maybe 80%, it would be some kind of gospel music or uplifting music or like piano instrumental music. The other 20 or 30% would be some kind of hard rock, usually Metallica. And even when I do listen to Metallica now, I don't listen that long. It's like it hurts my heart. I know I'm not, I just know I'm not supposed to be listening to that kind of music. There's nothing really good that comes out of that music spiritually. And it can be dark and it can be depressing. Those of you who know Metallica's catalog, Fade to Black. And I used to get drunk in the garage and, stare at the wall and listen to that song over and over and over. It's, yeah, not too good of memories, but, there's a darkness to that kind of music and, you got to be aware of it. I mean, go 6 months without listening to Metallica. And Cassie got that. She even said when she got to the concert, there was a couple street preachers outside preaching, don't go in here. And it kind of convicted Cassie. But Cassie did say that the crowd there was amazing. Everybody from all walks of life, people our age. It wasn't like when we were in our mid-20s. A huge party, drugs everywhere. She says it wasn't even like that. So, they're getting older now. Metallica's in their 60s, which is insane. But anyway, yeah, I mean, my weight and how I feel and, just exerting myself. I knew I wouldn't have the best of time. And I'd probably bring down Cassie, drag her down. I don't know. She wouldn't be embarrassed, but I didn't want to embarrass her. She's a big old guy walking around, huffing and puffing. And, like 2 years ago, Holly went to her first Metallica concert and offered to take me with her. And I declined. And that was for spiritual reasons. Like, I don't have, any use for that anymore, And that was when I was, a lot skinnier and I could have went. But they had fun, and I just wanted to sit down and touch bases with you guys and let you know what went on with my birthday present. So anyway, let me know down in the comments, guys, how you're doing today. You still staying strong? I hope to hear that you are. If you're not, you know we still love you. Everybody in this community loves you, and you can do it. So I know this wasn't the greatest carnivore diet video in the history of the world, but I really appreciate you stopping by and catching up with me. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, no sugar, no carbs, no cheating. Later.